Oh boy. Hello and welcome in. That I did not expect that intro. It was a little bit like longer. It had like a big explosion to it. That was Mina just redid that. I'm not used to it yet. So I've got to get my timing down. It's like in Jeopardy. It's not how fast you are on the buzzer, but knowing the cadence of Alex Trebek, rest in peace, or Ken Jennings. That's really the key. It's Wednesday. We're going to talk about golf or really whatever else you want. This time is yours, and we're back in the saddle at 3 p.m. Eastern time. It does feel good. We'll go through the golf course. We will go through stats and information and whatever you want. Just drop your questions, your concerns, your comments in the chat right now, and we'll just see wherever this thing goes. First and foremost, let's do the weather. Sure, why not? Let's see what's going on in Utah, southern Utah, for the first time on the PGA Tour in over 60 years. It's going to be hot. It's going to be very sunny. There are no trees, not a single tree, I don't think, on this golf course. So if you're going, wear a bucket hat, bring an umbrella, find some shade. It's going to be hot. Upper 80s to low 90s all week long, and a very, very consistent path of afternoon wind. So basically in the morning, you get nothing. There is not going to be a breath of air. And then in the afternoon, you get about 11 mile an hour winds each afternoon, starting almost identically on Thursday and Friday around that 3 or 4 p.m. hour. So in terms of who is actually going to benefit from this, probably nobody, right? Because they're going to have to play 1 p.m. round, 1 a.m. round. So I'm not super concerned about that. But if you're looking for first round leaders, if you're looking for showdown options, you might want to go with some of those earlier tee times. Greens are always better in the morning. Made putt percentages go up in the morning, all that fun stuff. But this golf course should be absolutely pure. I mean, it's brand new. This is the first time we're really going to see it under any duress of a professional golf tournament. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to look really good on TV. If you are in some type of one and done, you are a sicko for the fall. But here is a look at the most popular selection. So Keith Mitchell will be about 17 or 18% owned. Lucas Glover, that's surprising. We can talk about him at 13%. I probably prefer Seamus Power at 10%. And then you get Steven Jagger, Chris Kirk at 9 and 9. And then the only other golfers trending above 5% right now, Kurt Kitayama, Patton Kizzire, Bo Hosser, Michael Thorbjornsen, Eric Van Rooyen. I think from a strategic standpoint, a golf course that we have never seen before, that we don't really know who it's going to benefit. And also with some of the chaotic stuff that's going on at the top of the board, like Kurt Kitayama being one of the shortest golfers in this field in terms of odds and probably in terms of stature, it's just weird. There's just kind of a lot of weird situations. I think we should embrace the volatility a little bit this week. Probably try to stay away from some of these higher owned golfers that we can find replacements for. Also, I think when I was going through the course stuff earlier in the week and they did it on the Monday show, I think a lot of different paths are live. I think there's a lot of different guys at a lot of different skill sets that can get the job done. All right, let's get to some of these comments here. I'm going to go a little bit out of order here. So Tyler says, any health or status updates on JJ Spawn after last week? The answer to that is not that I have seen. So with Drew, I believe he only played a handful of holes in the first round and then he withdrew. I assume that if he's playing, he's fine. He did not give an official reason. Hasn't come up again this week. No, I guess nobody asked him or it did not make it to me, which is unfortunate, but I have not heard anything. Also, probably before I jump into this, I should mention you're looking at new tools on my website, rickrungood.com, right? You're looking at a new cheat sheet. You're looking at new golfer profiles. You are looking at a new custom model. There's light mode. There's dark mode. This should work better on different screen sizes. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes of the foundation that is going on. I have yet to record tutorials for this. That's on me. So if you have any questions, I can show you how to do it right now if it is available. And of course, I'm constantly making improvements to all of this stuff as I always do. So, quickly, if you want to say, hey, how do I get to dark mode? It's underneath your avatar here, underneath your settings. Click light dark mode, change it from light to dark, or you can have it be set to whatever your system is by default. And now you're in dark mode. So I'll go back to light mode. It's probably easier for you guys to see if you are watching this, though I prefer the dark mode. All right. Who's a good first round leader? So let's just fire this up here. This is the Holy Grail, and this is the round by round data. You can go there. You can go to fantasy data. You can go to stats. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to round by round since the start of 2023. I'm going to go just first round only, and I'm going to start looking for the best players in this field in round number 1. Also, there are links now. So if you click a golfer in the Holy Grail, I just clicked Alexander Bjork, boom, straight to the golfer profile. Things are making a lot more sense here. So let's look for numbers of rounds. We want probably at least 30 of them, and the best players. Jacob Bridgman, number 1, 1.62, $7,600. Now you have to remember some of these, not really that many of them. Okay. The recent ones are on the PGA Tour. Then 2023 season was Korn Ferry Tour stuff. But look at this. 3M Open, round 1, he opened by gaining over 7 strokes to the field. That's a good sign. He's gained at least 2.5 in 4 out of his last 5. He has gained just flat out been better than field average in like 7 straight round 1s. That's all pretty encouraging. I would like to see a little bit more upside, but I can't argue with that 7.3 number that we saw. Matt McCarty in here as well, gaining 4.5, 5 strokes to the field. All of that's on the Korn Ferry Tour. That is probably not going to be enough to be a first round leader, but certainly in the mix there. Andrew Novak. Okay. Andrew Novak models so well for me this week. I mean, I get it, right? He's trending in the right direction. The things that I'm putting in are tee to green and approach and whatever. But every time I do something, I swear Andrew Novak's name is in the top 10 of whatever that is. So here he is gaining 1.27 strokes to the field over his last 50 opening rounds. A little bit of upside, 5.3, 4.8, 4.5, 5. You're seeing that a couple times a year. I would not mind that as well. But man, Novak is either going to cost me a lot of money or win me a lot of money this week. Can Keith Mitchell show up on a Sunday for once? Great question. If I knew that, by the way, shortcut, Control K is the search button, and these are now weighted search options, so they should make a lot more sense. When you type in K, you're going to get the most popular golfer with a K in his name, for example. There's a lot of really good stuff here. Keith Mitchell played great for 71.5 holes last week, and then he 3-putts on the final hole on Sunday. That's pretty unfortunate. Outside of that, he's been a very good putter since the Wyndham Championship. He's gained 3.3, he's gained a half stroke, and he's gained 5.6 in the 3 starts since the Wyndham Championship. The tee to green stuff is probably some of the best in the field. I tend to believe that long-term, last week will help Keith Mitchell. Like if Keith Mitchell is in the mix again on Sunday this week, he is going to have all the same feels, will be a little bit better at controlling them. He discussed kind of what a silly mistake he made, which was not watching his putt go by the hole on the 18th hole. He thought he knew which way it was breaking, and then he misread it. So I thought that he handled the situation very well. I thought that he kind of removed himself from result and went through process, which I enjoyed that. So I am bullish. More bullish, which is tough to say, but I'm definitely more bullish on Keith Mitchell this week than I was last week. I was not very big on him last week. Would you go back to Hoey despite his dead last finish last week after making the cut? So I always think that's interesting, right? When a guy finishes last, but he made the cut. It's ugly. He lost to everybody, but he did beat everybody else in the field, right? Or the guys that made the cut. Lost 7 strokes putting. Probably the worst putting performance of his career. It is. Lost 6 at the Cognizant. That's the event that used to be called the Honda Classic. He's been a good putter. Not this fall. He's lost in Napa. He's lost in Jackson. But going back to the U.S. Open, he was a very, very good putter. I'm not as worried about that as I was about the 3 strokes that he lost over the weekend. Probably more than that, nearly 4 strokes on the weekend. So we kind of need 2 things to get back to normal here, which is a little bit concerning, but I'm a cautious optimist on Rico Hoey here. I like his game. I like some of the longer term metrics, but we do need him to get back to basically what he was doing in the summer, which was really good. But I think this is a pretty decent spot for him. Hey, Rick. Hey, Rick, great content. It is also great to see you in the fantasy football YouTube chat rooms as well. Was I? Was I in the fantasy? I could have been. When I watch stuff on YouTube, I tend to comment. Was I in the fantasy football? I might have been. That's cool. Yeah, good to see it. Should I pick golfers from Utah, or does it probably not matter? It probably does not matter. I believe the only ones that are even going to, like, the best ones in the field are Patrick Fishburne, who is playing well. Just doesn't matter where he's from. Patrick Fishburne is playing great golf. Or short bearded guy. Why am I blanking on his name? Zach Blair. Yeah. Zach Blair is the other one. Is the other one from Utah. I said I think there's a lot of different ways that you can win this golf course, though I don't think anything that he does well is getting magnified here. I think we'll be fine, but no, the Southern Utah is very similar to a lot of other desert golf. It is going to be similar to it's going to be very similar, in my opinion, to Las Vegas. It's going to be somewhat similar to the Scottsdale region, some just like desert golf / resort golf. I don't think that just because you might have a Utah driver's license, does that make you anything interesting? Joel Dahmen, is he a lock because it's bucket hat weather? Yeah, Joel's not been good, right? I mean, I know you're kind of messing around here, but let's just, while we're here, pull up Joel Dahmen's profile. He's going to get a big headshot here with his bucket hat on. There you go. How beautiful is that? We've got a putter problem, hemorrhaging strokes over his last 3, and he wasn't a good putter before that. The tee to green stuff is coming and going, though it is mostly going at the moment. Probably going to be difficult here for Joel. Probably going to be difficult. Plays a lot of desert golf. That's probably the only nice thing I can say about him. Yo, Rick, if Canadian Adam Hadwin, okay, if Canadian Adam Hadwin is the Desert Fox, what is Canadian Adam Svensson? Whoops. Oh boy. I got to be careful with that. The keyboard shortcut. What is Canadian Adam Svensson? Well, let's look together and find this out. Let me close that tab real quick. All right. Let's go back here. Svensson, let's see. From tee to green, 3M Open, Wyndham, Procore, Sanderson, that's all good. Around the green play. Okay, this is probably better than I thought it was going to be. I did not necessarily realize that he finished his Wyndham well and then played well in Napa. He did miss the cut at the Sanderson Farms, but it was one of the worst putting performances we've seen from him in probably 9 months or so. This is not a horrible stat profile. Like I honestly thought it might have been. Looking at somebody off the tee numbers, doesn't hit it very long. He's not going to get into any trouble. So there's this big, I've said it 100 times, there's this big line of demarcation, right? You've got this situation where if you can miss pretty big, but if you miss like 1 yard past that, you're just absolutely cooked. It's just the same thing you're going to see at Summerlin next week. The problem, the thing with Summerlin though is it's a bit tighter than this is. That's a pretty decent stat profile for Adam Hadwin or Adam Svensson, excuse me. We thinking wedges and putting heavy? If so, interesting spot to deploy Matt McCarty. Yeah, so Matt McCarty's got my attention like a lot, right? I've written about him. I'm sure I've spoken about him here. It's just like he was a great player on the Korn Ferry Tour. He makes a ton of birdies. He is not the ball striker that you would expect to see with all the great success, but he's good enough. And I don't think we have any like issues with tightness off the tee or anything like that. So yeah, I'm rolling out Matt McCarty for I don't want to say the foreseeable future, but I'm going to give him a lot of run here this fall. Good day, Rick. Good day. Oh, good day, mate. We'll be there we'll be down under in just a couple of weeks, just next week, I think. Actually, the end of next week, we'll be in Australia, which is crazy. A week from today. A few guys modeling well you haven't endorsed. Mullins, Bridgman, Whaley, Svensson, Carson. Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, there's 100 and something odd golfers in the field. Certainly do not need me to endorse or not all of them, right? If you find these guys and you like them, great. Some of these guys I probably have not given the deep dive on. So we saw Bridgman. We saw how great he's been in the opening rounds. We just looked at Svensson. I'm in on Berger, with the idea being that I'm trying to be early. I might be wrong, but I'm going to be early instead of late, because if Daniel Berger wins this golf tournament or finishes inside the top 5, the days of him being mid 7,000s, 7,300 at the Sanderson, 7,300 at the Procore, and then 7,700 this week. Those are going to be long gone. I mean, there might be people who don't remember how good Daniel Berger was prior to the injury in 2022 that kept him out for like 20 months. He was a top 10, 12, 15 player in the world. Very, very good. So I'm trying to be early here. I got a really good stat profile from him at the Sanderson Farms. I'm thrilled with this. So I'm going to try to be early. What is Max McGreevy's skill set? So firstly, Max McGreevy is one of the guys who is just graduated from the Korn Ferry Tour. He is going to get his official card like it starts in January, right? So that's when his season starts, but I don't know how he got into this. Maybe it was a sponsor's invite. Maybe he qualified some other way. If you are a Korn Ferry graduate, you can hold your breath, right? You can make a lot of birdies. If you look at some of the stuff that he has done on the PGA Tour, because remember, he had his PGA Tour card in 2023, excuse me, and then this year, 2024, he was back down on the Korn Ferry. So PGA-wise, what we've seen from him in the strokes gain stuff is that he is very bad off the tee, and I believe that is due to inaccuracies, not distance, but a very good second shot player, and then he's not a very good putter. Now, I'm assuming that he has improved some of those things, probably the putter to make enough birdies, to make enough, to convert enough opportunities to get that PGA Tour card. He won 5 starts ago. He won like 10 starts ago. He's got a very good high upside Korn Ferry Tour profile. Missed cut, win, 52nd, third. That's a Korn Ferry Tour profile. That's how you get your PGA Tour card. Then when you get your PGA Tour card, it's really good to finish like T18 every single week and you keeping it. Okay, someone else asked me this, and I meant to look at this. This is on me. This is a mistake. So the question is, where is the download button on the new cheat sheet? And it's supposed to be here. So I think
under the global. Click the other, whatever it's on, whether it's on global or weighted.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Armin is just directing me. Okay. So, got it. That makes more sense. So, okay. There is a download button. It is underneath the classic view. It is up here in the upper right-hand corner. So that is, I understand why that is confusing, because on the previous iteration of the cheat sheet, the default view was classic. So the button was there by default. I'm only allowed, my deals with these, I'm not allowed to make everything available via download. So the thing that there is a download button of what is available. So it's a little bit confusing now because the default view is global. So my bad, but it is there. It is under classic. Thank you, Armina, as well. Deep dive on CT Pan. Oh boy. Is this the Harbor Town event? Is this a place? Is this Colonial? Is this somewhere where you can get hemmed in off the tee? No, which is normally where you'd see CT Pan. Though I'll tell you what, a shocking T3 at the Mexico Open. John Deere, okay, that's not bad. T2 there. I don't see how he can be predictable, quite honestly. A lot of bad golf. Then when he does play well, it is out of nowhere. I'm not sure I am going to be okay at looking at this. Okay, let's keep going. Thoughts on Chandler Phillips? Let's go see what Chandler Phillips is up to. Oof, drives it well. Picked up strokes on a lot of them off the tee in 5 straight. Results are coming through as well. Good putter. Very bipolar on approach, which is not the end of the world. Picked up 5 strokes at the Canadian Open. Picked up 1.7 last week. Lost 5 in Napa. And lost all 4 days. I suppose that there are other places I would like to see him have a 9-shot gap, a 9-shot difference between his floor and his ceiling. But that's the only place that really concerns me. Seems to be has figured something out. The driver has always been a very good putter. I think I'm in. I think I'm in on Chandler Phillips. Yeah, I still think there is a lot of. I think there's juice to squeeze out of Patton Kizzire, and so does the model. I think he's just ticked over a little bit more every week from upper left to like upper right, which is still a good place to be. So there is still juice here. I think that Kizzire could win this. I think I said that last week too. So we went win T11. The advanced metrics are still really good. He's clearly playing with a lot of confidence. To finish T11 and only gain 2.3 strokes putting was very good. A very good sign last week. That's what we were hoping to see out of him. He gave us that. That was awesome. I know I'm constantly almost calling it the Honda Classic. The Cognizant doesn't even register in my brain. Who's the best lefty in the field? Oof. Okay. So Mike Weir, no. Matt McCarty, probably, but let me look through the cheat sheet. I got to think off the top of my head who the lefties are. I'm probably missing some. If there are only two left, there's got to be more than two lefties in this field. Cage Lee, Joel Dahmen, no. Without going through the entire list, I think the answer is going to be Matt McCarty. I don't see how it could be anybody else. Tim Wilkinson, I think, is left-handed as well, but he is clearly not the best player in this field. There might only be a handful of them. Do you think that 110K guy and the rest 8 to 7K is going to be the most popular? Well, let's look at the projected ownership here, sorted by salary. There is about a third of you who are going to take Keith Mitchell, but everybody in the 10K range is 17% or more. Kitayama and Bo Hostler, 19 and 17 respectively. Then a pretty even distribution in the 9K range. The 8K range, Thor Bjornsson going fairly under-owned. That's surprising to me, considering he's coming off a T8 and I think he got hot over the weekend. So let's see what the ownership in the 6K range is like, because that's probably going to be the issue here. 2%, 3%, 3%, 3.7. Sung-Yul No. Wow, Sung-Yul No catching 7%. I mean, I don't disagree with it, but that's crazy. How has word gotten out on Sung-Yul No? Based on this, I think that's right, Jaron. 110K guy and then maybe 8s and 7s. If not, maybe 2 9K guy. You're not seeing a lot of run in the 6K range. Also, do we need to talk about Kurt Kitayama? Does anybody have any idea what in the world is Kurt Kitayama is going to do this week? For him to have a $10,200 salary, for him to be one of the shortest odds to win this golf tournament. Listen, I know he played well at the 3M Open. That was 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago. We haven't seen him at all since the Wyndham. Before that, it's not like he was shredding golf courses left and right. He was maybe making a couple of top 20s. He had like 2 top 20s last year. 3, I guess. It's a pretty weak field, but why is Kurt Kitayama so expensive? Either they know something we don't know, or this is just a I can't figure this out. Comparing him to guys who've played, I would much prefer Keith Mitchell and Seamus Power, maybe even Bo Hostler. I don't know. It just looks a little bit weird. Guess the average score for the field. I think they're going to shred it. It's a resort golf course. The conditions are going to be great. It's going to play effectively 7,100 yards. Yeah, there's no history, but I don't think there's going to be anything hiding out. I think it's a par 71. Let's call it a 69.5 would be 1.5 strokes under, right? Actually, let's see what the props say. And Armina, this would be a good time to introduce the Underdog segment of the show. That's not what you said you were going to do.
I know. I was gonna do.
Yeah, she was going to do a lower bark. Let's see what they have. Okay, 68 and 69 and a half, obviously. So Underdog is thinking they're going to go lower here. There's got to be somebody sitting on a 69 and a half number that is interesting. Wow, these are all 68 and a half. That's a little disappointing. I'm not sure the scoring is going to be that low. Although round one will probably be the easiest round. I don't know if I love that though. What I would do if I was here is I would be taking Berger lower than 68 and a half. Thorbjornsson lower than 68 and a half. Griffin higher than 68 and a half. Probably Luke List higher than 68 and a half. Keith Mitchell having to get to 67 feels like kind of a big ask. He's going to be in the afternoon wave, so he's going to have to deal with a little bit of his round in some of the higher wind. He's going to have the worst screens. I don't think they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be great either way, but that feels a bit aggressive for me. Are you telling me that Keith? Also, I think a lot of these are aggressive. Is Patrick Rogers only half a stroke worse than Keith Mitchell? That doesn't feel right. I think these are all kind of low, to be honest with you. Kisner might just get smoked here. Higher than 70 and a half. Kevin Kisner has been, let's look at this together. And this is not a golf course that I think sets up well for him. Great President's Cup photo, though. Losing strokes off the tee, losing strokes on approach. Even the putter has cooled. Tee to green numbers are horrendous. Maybe over on Kisner. Hasn't played since, well, he played the Pro Tour. Not great. Not great. Underdog is going nuts with, I've been doing the MLB home run entries, which are admittedly sick. They're like 30-1, whatever. But it is fun. I did some NHL ones last night. I had a Clayton Keller, Connor Bedard to score a point. Done deal. That was a good one. So let's see. Let's make some fun ones here. So the Phillies start in 2 hours, an hour and a half. So let's do Alonso to homer and Castellanos to homer. 28-1. I'm just putting like 10, 15, $20 on them. Okay, so let's do 20 on that. Now, let's find a hockey one for tonight. Now, I don't know anything about these games tonight. I don't know anything about the games last night either. But I'm really just going to find basically the top point scorers and give me something to sweat, which I enjoy. All right, Connor McDavid. Wow, really? 1.5 points? Does he score that many points? I guess he does, right? He's like the best in the league. Can you do both guys? Like, don't these guys play together? So McDavid and Draisaitl, don't they play together? So then if you did this, would they let me do it? Wow, aren't they on the same line? So there's got to be some level of correlation between McDavid points and Draisaitl points, but maybe that's already worked in. But they probably either both hit this or don't. I mean, I'm making this stuff up, right? I don't know that. I'm just trying to think through this. If I were to start, bless you, if I were to start from scratch, I think those two play together. So let's, for fun, take both those guys. I don't know. Is Kyle Connor the best point scorer for Winnipeg? Let's get him. I don't want him. I want oh yeah. Okay. Andrew in the chat says Kale. I think it's not pronounced Maker. I don't think it's like Makar. Higher than 1.5. So we've got 3. It feels like a lot, right? Do guys score 2 points that frequently? Okay. We're going to put McDavid, Draisaitl, and Kale. Should we also just put Jack Eichel in there too and just go nuts with this? Let's just do it. You can break these up if you want. That is 14-1. Honestly, that feels like kind of bad odds, doesn't it? Luckily, I'm doing this for entertainment purposes only. Okay. The code is Rick. There's a link in the description. You can sign up, get $1,000 deposit match, which is the most Underdog has ever done, as far as I can tell. And you can sweat. I mean, it's like, I don't know anything about it, but they are very enjoyable to sweat, which to me is the most important thing about all of this. Okay, let's keep going here. I will look into that, Hank. As you can imagine, there's like a ton of behind the scenes stuff. I'll look into that and get you an answer. How are you feeling on Jagger? Yeah, you know what? I did want to deep dive a bit into Jagger here. So let me get you back. Get the screen back up here. Man, I hate it. Finally figures out the putter. Can't figure out the approach play. Lost 3.2 on approach last week. 3.7, 1.7, 1.4. Gains 5 strokes putting at the Sanderson Farm. Still finishes T23. Yikes. Do not like that one single bit. He hasn't been good since the win. And he wasn't really even all that good before the win. He was better at the beginning of January, at the end of last year and into January. Has really cooled off since then. Look at the difference between, his 2023 putting numbers. Green, 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 green. Now just all red. I don't know what he has lost there, but it is a problem. So Oliver says, Sung Yul is gaining ownership because it's not how good you are, it's who you know. Ba-dum-bum. Well done. Hey, Rick, just subscribe. Thank you. Like the show. Heard from European people. Alexander Bork could be a surprise this week. Took him top 10, top 20. What does your model say? Well, let's look at this couple things here, and I can run a model. But Alexander Bork. So the good news is, pat myself on the back here. I've got all the DP World Tour data, all the PGA Tour data, all the Korn Ferry Tour data, major championship data, et cetera, et cetera. So we're getting a full look at what Bork has been up to. He played the BMW PGA Championship. He missed the cut. He played the European Masters, relied heavily on his putter, finished T12. The thing is, he's a very good putter. I would normally be very concerned for a golfer to gain 7 strokes putting, but he's done that now twice in his last 5, picked up 4.5 at the PGA Championship. If you go back even farther than that, he is very capable of gaining 4, 5, or 6 strokes putting in a given week. He's going to have to, because the ball striking is very bad. Did you see what I did there? I clicked the full screen, gets you even more stats there. I don't like this. I'm like a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Now, if we do run a model, so if we do model this, I don't know if I saved Monday's model. I don't remember saving it. It's okay. I can just redo one. So let's just do this together. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I usually zoom in for you guys, but I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so I can get this done a little bit better. So what I would do for this week is a couple of items. I'm going to put a baseline of implied win percentage, which is their odds to win. So I'm going to let Vegas sift through all that stuff for me. I could also do weighted strokes gained. I'm going to let Vegas do it. We don't usually do that. Let's do it this time. Now I'm going to do strokes gained approach, something recent, 25 rounds. Strokes gained approach for 25. I'm then going to do, I don't think I did this earlier. I'm going to do 10 on bent grass putting, 10 on bonus putting, and then 10 on just strokes gained putting, which I don't believe that I did earlier this week. So now we're at 75 out of our 100 weights. So we've got 25 to play with. I'm going to go, well, let's do this. Let's put 25 on easy courses. I'm assuming this is going to play pretty easy. I could be making wrong assumptions here. The model is only as good as the inputs. The outputs are only as good as the inputs. Trash in, trash out, et cetera, et cetera. But here's what we'll go with for conversation purposes. My number one golfer is Ben Griffin, who has been very good in bonus putting, Very good on easy courses, has a decent implied win percentage, has been good on approach. Patrick Fishburne is second. That would be nice. Bo Hostler is 3, Seamus Power is 4, JJ Spawn is 5. See, this is why earlier in the week I was like, can we get anybody on the scene, anybody, to ask JJ Spawn how he's feeling and what the WD was about? Honestly, and again, I have no idea. It could have been a personal issue. He did not even give a reason. So he never said it was an injury. He just withdrew. Maybe he had to use the restroom really bad. Maybe he had a stomach ache. I don't know. No one knows. But that's why he should have been asked. He's 5th in the model at $8,500. He's going out in the early wave. Lauer is 6th. Harry Hall is 7th. Let's go. Let's ride, Harry. It's time, Harry. Harry. Ben Coles is 8. Chan Kim is 9. And there he is. I said, and no matter what model that I run, and this is a very different model than I ran on Monday. It doesn't matter what model I run, Andrew Novak gets himself into the top 10. And there he is in the 10 spot. Unbelievable. I don't know. Alexander Bjork. Okay, and this model is 27th, which I guess for $7,000 is not that bad. Who's dead last? It's got to be somebody who has like no numbers. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Can I say something?
Armina, hold on. Armina would like to say something.
There's a question about KH Lee, CJ Cup stuff, like the TBC Craig Ranch. It's there.
On the golfer profile?
Yeah, I just sent you a screenshot of it.
Okay. Well,
May 5th, 2024.
No. I think he's talking about something different, but that's okay. That's why I was going to address it later. I know what Hank's talking about. And okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Best bent grass player in the field. Okay. Let's go to the Holy Grail. Let's go just to go back to tournament. Everybody in this field on bent, just pure bent. We won't do, you could do POA and bent, et cetera, et cetera. Strokes gained putting, call it at least 25 rounds. No, well, we could call it 18 rounds because that would make Patrick Fishburne look a lot better. But let's call it 25 rounds. Ooh, Ben Coles just misses out. Justin Suh. Okay. If you're ever going to play Justin Suh and just a one time only, here's your chance. Okay. I've said it a lot this week, but I really think, and I know this from a lot of personal experience, the golf in Las Vegas is very similar to the golf in southern Utah. It is desert golf at altitude, very dry, a lot of sun, a lot of heat, no shade. It is, I'm telling you, and look at how many Vegas guys are on this list. Justin Suh, Taylor Montgomery, Harry Hall, Sung Yul No plays out of TPC Summerlin. He's right here, 35 rounds. I'm telling you, I believe it. Rico Hoey, I believe it to be a pretty good crossover. I really do. So you've heard me say it a lot. He's on there. Aaron Baddeley is 3rd. Taylor Montgomery is 4th. Kevin Kisner is 5th. Chandler Phillips, another name popping up there, is 6th. Harry Hall is 7th, et cetera, et cetera. You can read the rest of those. Do you prefer Hodges or Hisatsune? I just went for it. Let's look. And actually, what we could do is this. Watch this. So again, I'm still kind of getting used to these tools too. Let's do Rio and Hodges. If I click both of them, yeah, we can compare. So let us compare. This is the last 36 rounds. Hisatsune is better off the tee, worse on approach, worse around the green, slightly better with the putter, though both of them are quite bad. Neither of them are coming in with any form. Neither of them are particularly great drivers of the golf ball. Hisatsune does hit pretty significant more greens, although he's a worse approach player, so he must not be hitting them as close. Okay, well, now we got to do a deep dive. I thought that was going to be a clear winner. It is not. We are going to have to ride here a bit deeper. Yeah, I think the thing with Rio is when he plays well, he plays really well, but he does not play well very often. He went out and played 4 straight events on the European Tour. They were pretty miserable throughout the bag, and he missed the cut in 3 out of 4 and finished T77 in the other. When he came back stateside, it did not get much, but the ball striking did. The result was the same, a missed cut. Yikes. Okay, that is not great. Lee Hodges, show me something, Lee. Yikes. Why? I'm sorry, Jaron. Why are we choosing between these two? Are these the only two options? Is there no one else in the world that we can play at $6,800 or $6,900? Boy, these are bad. I guess Hodges, but I don't know. I guess Hodges, but I don't like either of these guys. I like them. They're probably great guys, but I don't like that. Who wins the French Open? Now we're cooking with gas. So let's go to the power rankings. Let's open up the French Open. Let's just get our fingers around this field. Okay. So I've bet Tristan Lawrence 3 starts in a row. He has played well, not good enough to find victory. So I'm probably not going to bet him this week, and he will probably win, right? So really good ball striking numbers. He's technically the best player in the field in terms of the power rankings. Let's deep dive Soderberg here. And actually, I do want to get to Soderberg had that run earlier this year where he played great. He's really cooled off since then. I did want to look at Nicholas Norgard, or he might be in some databases as like Nicholas Norgard Moeller, I believe is the other name that he goes with. Look at these digits. So he wins. I love this. I love so he was trending towards victory, getting better, wins the British Masters and does not cool off. T36 at the Irish Open, T7 at the BMW PGA. That is the best event, the most difficult event on the European Tour. Then T12, the Alfred Dunhill Links, which is a very volatile event. So Nicholas Norgard is certainly in play. Watch this. Let's see if we can do one other thing here. Let's get rid of, actually, let's do last like 7 years or so, everybody in that field, and let's just go with Le Golf National. I should have some numbers on this. Well, my screen recorder is cook. You can probably hear my computer cooking right now. All right, Le Golf National. Oh, hold on. We've got to have it. Oh, I have Bentgrass selected. Sorry. Let's try this again. Le Golf National. There we go. I got out over my skis there. Best players at this venue. 8 rounds. Rasmus is here. Finished second and fourth. Find me some value, Rick. Jeff Winther, 12 rounds, 2.5 strokes gained per round. Although that's last year, the year before, 2 back-to-back top 10s. Interesting. Let's see the best tee to green players at Le Golf National. Jordan Smith, 16 rounds, 2.8 from tee to green. Yeah, those are good results. Let's ride. 21st, 54th, 7th, and a runner-up. This thing has a different name every single year. Oh, Tristan Lawrence is going to win this week because I did not bet him. I guarantee. The last time we just saw this event, right? We just saw it for the Olympics. Højgaard finished 7th. I think that was Victor Perez finished 4th. He's in the field. Dietrich finished 9th. Wow, I can't believe. I mean, I guess I can believe it, but I have a lot of data on the DP World Tour. The years of work I've put in is finally paying off for this moment. Cool. I'll come back and watch later, says Brent. Good to see you, Brent. I've not seen the new trophy. This is quickly in my top 5 non-historical trophies. Wow. Okay. I have not seen it. I'll check it out. Could you deep dive on Bud Cauley? Yikes. We are deep when we're getting to Bud Cauley, but let's see what we got, Nolan. Look at that smile. Nice, nice sweater vest. Well, if I only look at what he has done in the fall, I'm impressed. T32 at the Pro Tour and a very, very good T5 at the Sanderson Farms, which was awesome every day. He gained in all 4 categories every day, except for approach on Sunday and around the green on Friday. Other than that, it's all green. It's very impressive. The problem is my eyes have already gone to last year. Maybe I shouldn't penalize him for that. Fall's been really good. 7,400's a bit expensive. I'm going to say, Nolan, 1 thumbs up, not 2 thumbs up, not neutral, not thumbs down, 1 thumbs up. Because this is, I'm gonna give him credit for the fall pretty heavily. I'm not gonna beat him up too much. I mean, the Wyndham Championship, which that was 2 months ago, right? So when I was knocking Kurt Kitayama, it was kind of like I've got to now give Bud Cauley credit. Real quick, we did not fill the splash contest last week. It's still guaranteed. There was an overlay, so there was free money. I think we might not fill it this week either. It is smaller. I would like to fill this because then it means the listener leagues going on next year and for the big time events are going to get big guarantees. There's still 50 some odd spots left. It's very simple. You pick 1 golfer from each of 6 tiers. Your worst score is dropped. It's way better. It's a way better format. So would appreciate it if you could fill that. It'll help, especially come January. But either way, even if it doesn't fill, it's going to be guaranteed. And those of us who do play it are going to get that free money. I also always see this name. So shout out to B Hale 485, which I can only help but think is Blaine Hale, the guy on the PGA Tour who is the bottom of all of these fields. It's the only thing I think. I'm sure it's probably not. He's probably not allowed to. So I certainly won't want to. It's definitely not. Because even if it is, I don't want to blow up his spot. It's definitely not. Don't worry about it. But I always think it is when I see that. But I'm sure it's not. I'm starving. I should have eaten breakfast. I should have eaten lunch before this. I'm at the end of the questions. Yes, I've talked about Andrew Novak a lot. He just pops up everywhere. He's just modeled in everything. So I'm rolling with Novak. This was fun. I don't know why I thought it just became more fun than I thought it was going to be. There's 4 baseball games on today. There's a lot of NHL on today. And then tomorrow, the boys are kicking off in Utah. Good time to be a sports fan. Okay. Stay safe, everybody. I will see you later, or I will see you another time.
Bye.
Bye.